Tanker Owners Union in the Enkomo. More mutien from last week, you highlight your more issues no from the perspective of journalists. In the end, no, or more kasaba be cancer ewaha. They would help us to understand the real issues. Ignatius Kwekudo, Executive Secretary, Matanka Owners Union, Lawyer Kwame Jantua, a member of the Matanka Owners Union. Council, my member found Shasi and for more a person Timon Semnas, and I mean, Executive Secretary won't start. Okay, Executive Secretary, Aquaba, it's saying, and Pato Pulia, Kunyani Brain, Nim Kakra, na Wetimia Casego, Mike, and Mamma, say, Bibi Aboko. In summary, no more issues na danya. I didn't know when you agree.
Thank you very much. Let me say, Nientina near brain say, yeah, Ghana for and then Juma away and some na yes we na investment was Juma no. I know now, yes, sorry, that crew now. You won't say Jumano without any cause and now without any sufficient information to make the way clear for us. I know nothing now, yeah, show concern.
But okay, say Jumano is a son of quite ben so.
Say for some time now. Yeah, Jumano tour.
Yes.
To my oil refinery. Now, oil refinery and now ton product number oil companies. Now, oil companies also at the product no call various stations now. Now, more use your services.
More transport product.
Yeah, transport to product.
Okay.
Now, near one as at this time, they say oil companies now those that were servicing those days. At least apart from Goyle, the rest of them were all foreign companies.
Okay.
But the one say, Omu be and far, Omu car be and free baby, Abe Jumano.
Oh,
Mama, a tanker owners, Omu no muching product.
No muching product. The all can say OMCs near what Ghana Hano.
Yeah.
Apart from Goyle, Shell, ni Total, ni Omo account a foreign company.
Yes, those days.
But they still use Momo services.
Momo use their services.
Okay.
Then, as the industry grew, no, the deregulation set in. No.
Sure.
TOR was almost not in that position again. NTBDCs were created, bulk distribution companies.
Yes.
And the bulk distribution companies, they say they are one crab product.
Crab product never.
At the account near TOR, no, refining at that time.
Okay.
Now, omu product now, still, they still use the same old channel, you know. Oil companies, no, and now the oil companies go to buy from them.
Yeah.
Now we
more transporting.
And transporting.
Okay.
So for a new refinery to have come, no, many of us, no, refinery, no, refinery because there will be any development now. Well, it's not possible you can know everything. But. Just a couple of days ago, and I have say a week to two, no.
Yes.
Now, young Crawford will be able to hint here that the new refinery, which was coming up, no, almost the tankers are by, and they were talking of tankers in the region of 300.
300 tankers.
Yes, 300.
At a go.
At a go. Now, still no, according to almost speculations, no, and now only almost and now is that additional ones beba become. So am I say no? Maybe this might not be true because you say some foreign countries, they say Burkina Faso, Nigeria, you know, almost for ammonia.
Yes,
their tankers pick products from this country, and the idea so maybe it's for them. But we have never seen those tankers calibrating at our points. So it looks like whatever they were saying.
No correct.
Yeah, no correct. Now, suddenly, also, then we realized that they were assembling drivers, employing drivers, and then went on to meet some oil companies, the indigenous ones, and some others, telling them that they say they're new refinery. No, now we are one more tankers now na be far product no.
Okay.
Now more they call almost stations now ma almost. Okay, some of those oil companies also one more Ghanaian owned companies now almost one more tankers no be. So their understanding is that say yes argument and any tankers no the better. So they also made the complaint to us. So it was at this point that we became interested in the whole thing. NT had notified MP about it on the 28th of August about development. So 14th of September we had a tanker owners day at this thing. Tanker owners day at MPA. So we said once it is our day, and once MPA has recognized vital route and a vital access through which almost goals no, because the product no bar now tank mo and now ship mo, and then there's nobody to transport it. Actually, said they can also be seen to be working. So we look at them as reliable partners, and they also look at us as such. And they are some no causes now. Yes, I remind you almost said this is what is going on. Now, say Ebasana, we may be forced to resist, and you can't resist now.
It is a metawase up until this point. There is a new refinery in Ghana, privately owned, Tema. A Chinese company na babisi refinery no. More information among says our company no. Rather than use the already existing channel, say more tanker owners, no more transport, said more BDCs, no any OMCs, no system, no dada no. This new refinery, say omodi bema a new company omodi tankers for 300 abba.
Yes,
that's the concern now.
That's the concern now.
And now we can say mot now masadi ne happen na mojuma no ebegu.
Certainly.
A kwai na be fa so mojuma na gu.
The whole thing is that business beer one tatis.
Sure.
Now, sa tatis na omo deba system no more. Ye who be that as far as this country is concerned. Now, so ye wajun say you are going to refine na tankers are no. You are going to make them to do it exclusively now. I try to say you are taking us out of the distance. Maybe at that point in time, now product ni na and now import ni na kodi ho. Maybe I want okra product no. So maybe at that point in time, no, I try to say will be a nyebi. And those the oil companies that will get now, so then their trucks have to distance. Nientina you connected the two together and he said the company is known as Centuo. Yes, Centuo.
Okay.
And the tankers are bearing the same
name.
So it looks like there's a correlation. Want to me ye way free
in free way.
So yes, I can't say now then I think this is our country and I had a way. Now Juma be a country woman you say you was a qualification to do it. I don't know my because and that is how the Chinese also came here to know that Bibi Hosa na
Mama lawyer Mrema, I'll come back to you. Lawyer, the other question naturally and and from Storia executive secretary the say until say refinery ne beba na more transported product that BDCs ni product near the more transported. In the refinery, Abana refinery, they say me person company A and the transporting me product mamia. So you still have the BDCs somewhere transporting more product and
sure. There is always the be a plan or hoa.
Okay.
Ubia or DB or befaso.
Okay.
Now example. First point of call. Me mentiasie say yen Ghana, your refinery. Now you permit another foreign country company a baby refinery next to us.
That's another issue.
Mentiasie. Se me wa me de na wo mikroma adenti na se me ma obi kwan mo no so besi bia woni mikrom ni because it has implications on the economy. What the fan is say Oma refine 200,000 barrels of refined petroleum products, petrol and diesel. Nobody decided say omotonga. Yes, it is no
Yeah.
The cities no menya we are.
Ombesasa.
Sika the almost is on him for no first can free. Enya Ghana ha.
Sure.
Enya ye foreign exchange. Enya ye dollars no almost is on. No almost is on own begu ye bank na. So we beko. Enya capital flight.
Yeah.
And affect the economy no.
Yeah.
Into honoment tiase. Okay. Yan fan say I ya ma besi. Na before no. Wo mu do o me your madwen say o besi no. One more, say a buy no Mokoya. I think you are buying to me and can't say, you are refinery, ye here say, you're refining a bebaso into Mumbra near your joint partnership, where refining near my dear so
refinery.
Yeah, revive ye, dear, you revive ye, then you will be dear beba. Ebia near a honor Obi, Mikai, dear, a Kai, your friend saying, former Minister of Energy, Jacon.
Oh, okay, Boache Jako
ka wo kai se o kan bibi se ayi to yen turn into a tank farm.
Yeah.
So wo kan okay. You turn into a tank farmer anka refined petroleum products here for ye be free. Enye nkrofo we na anka beba be use na ye kunye de. Na here omo refinery no they have source for refined petroleum products. BDCs umben port e base the international oil price no ye high. BDCs beba ebeye den no. Wo betimi undercut wo mo de.
And all the OMCs will go to
all them. All go with them. Ombeka say you tonga from here there and them use your tankers. After the next will be no maybe petrol garages. Ni ye kunye little by little. Oni baba ho no in the next 5 to 6 years na gold cry ya finishing no. Ni ati ho ni ye hwe. Obi, ni ati ho ni ye hwe. Ye di ready. Ye hwem. The sectors of the Ghana's economy, the sectors of Ghana economy, ne Ghana ni ben pa poti pa na obetimi aka say it's in charge of Ghanaian hands. Supermarkets, how is it in charge? Why nam there? Anya foreigners.
Foreigners, yes. Yes.
Telecoms, anya foreigners. Oil, anya foreigners. Who they share the commanding heights of the economy? Share why no banks? Friends saying
clean up
no affecting foreign banks. Say aren't they the ones benefiting? Ghana banks no way. Into yant na ma way in Messi. Where Galamse? Why no never Galamse? Why no benefit from Galamse? Your gold there it's been able to create a different town in China. Yeah, your gold. Near Tiha. And yant na man sano ma. Because why made them feel that government should be deliberate. They should be deliberate in some of these things. A Ghana for Mufa a Ghana for some mobile to produce refined petroleum products. Munizi a tank.
Use the tank.
You will bear 5,000 tankers. They say what a Juma crying ye being yet.
Tanker owners no.
Tanker owners no. I see how you need Juma yet because refined petroleum products and Mawawa. When you Juma yet. Sentinel, ye no be no say at least your oil. Ye your oil no be.
And refine
your oil no be cry. Ye one your friends saying field for refining in Kwan. Na enko to. Ye to ye. O ye to ye a. Sika beba, aden sika beba. Landlocked countries no. Wo mo bat to befa.
Sure.
They come and lift. Foreign exchange beba. To benye sika ayani ajibi so ama aban. Aden ye ntimi nya ne sa. BDCs, betimi di biaba, verifying ama buying. Says ya essential for no. Omsom do mu fa ho, wom call by MPA. Wa tanker bia fabra, ye betonga maw. That's just a process and procedures no da ho no. Womu say no. Musumo ye foreigners. Ye betimi akwa China, akwa kase ye ko be refinery o. Akwa ye haulage o. Ombe pini yen. Ada na Ghana yes ah. Ono binti ase.
It is here no. Let's unpack the story. Said here, Executive Secretary Minti, the government of Ghana am a license to a Chinese company to build a refinery. That refinery, we are told, say about 92% complete. We also know, say, another company, so-called local company, and so enya funding I imported tankers aba. Number no 300. From the Executive Secretary Kano. Se mo connected lines nene dot na ya kwa say the same company set up refinery no they are indirectly behind so-called Ghanaian company na ede tankers no abano. And you are saying say moma kwan masa arrangement na ekoswa eventually ebe gumu mwejuma. I want you to unpack enough for us a refinery, a company importing 300 vehicles, tankers, and over 5,000 tankers in the system, over 500 haulage companies in Ghana. What's the link? Is it in the gumu mwejuma? Unpack ya no my.
You know, Obi. Assembly here. You know, near or say or company.
Yes.
Now no, now class you know. We don't have any. We have also done investigation, the background checks on this side, you know. And he's not even a tanker owner. So Obi wo tanker we Juma Wimwa. Now Anka Obet me say maybe he's trying to expand his job by lobbying them to do something. But we have car eco tankers now, the back country.
Yeah.
It's about $32.5 million.
$32.5 million.
And on a tankers. No?
Wow.
We don't know how much the value is. But on one now they need back forward that he is the distant doing it. Okay, I check his background.
Yes.
He hasn't got that when it's our strength for them.
Suspicion great sir.
That is it.
Secondly, refinery now the Senate.
So there were other two areas now your suspicion now agreed. The people themselves started going around. The company officers no, and now those who are going to manage the refinery for them or whatever no, and now those who are going to be in charge of the sales. Yeah. Almost call from indigenous company companies.
OMCs. No?
OMCs. Until you have information free some of the OMCs. So almost say we are going to sell the product to you. Remember 10 to 12% discount. Now bet
the prices
trucks no. Now
and what's said in your neighbor?
Yes. Until just some of those companies too, they have trucks. All the indigenous companies working in Ghana, at least about, if I would say at least we have about 176 oil companies operating now. At least actively, no, by 100 plus have been working every month. And if I would say Total, any Shell, which are the foreign companies still operating this country at the moment, you know. If I would say the rest of them are indigenous companies. And 90% of them are all having trucks that lift for them. But because of the volume of trading they do, you know, sometimes almost sableti kakrebima your companies and no nama your tankers no also, but and to me at this time. And the other way around say almost the person who claimed that he has brought the distance say, oh, tanker business no more. It will leave us in a total darkness as to what exactly is the issue going on. Because a lawyer, but lawyer would not have used Centum as his symbol or his logo to transact his business. Because this logo issues, no. So me with small knowledge about this thing, I will be sure any this is there. They all cover some few distance from it and then use it to build your own thesis. Don't say university and now will be to be picky side and they can take you on.
Sure. Plagiarism.
Yes. So what is happening there? That gentleman can never come forward and this thing. Now, one more sample framing story, no. Story they say one more the man Aquano say 1 year no work and pay. So you ask yourself, how is he going to pay? In cities?
Or in dollars.
In dollars.
But that's an interesting perspective. Council Inti said or no executive secretary Akan, and I found that way in a bit interesting. Say officers of the refinery echo rounds. How many OMCs need income as expected? Your refinery or your refined product in the ebetimia supply mobi. This time you be more discounted rate. And that's the elephant in the room.
The prices no.
Yes.
Meaning,
say eventually it would affect even the BDC.
Me purchase say BBNia. Say omuni malice afforded bia. Free union. Say see I be factory ba. I refine petroleum products. You betimi ama mo price a ye good. Inti yes come together near hwese ni besi aye no. Omaye. Omunye. In the oil industry. Ufa, your friend is saying financial management
Public Financial Management Act.
Yes. There are some clauses in there, and I'll give you two. Fronting. Fronting is a criminal offense. So when you crobia, me patch say you shouldn't your memoir. Anka 300 trucks no buy no. Anka authorities immediately would look at the gentleman.
Yeah.
Is he fronting for them? One of your fronting we are. You have be beneficial ownership. And no, you bet Tracy who are the beneficial owners of the your friends saying trucks, because beneficial owner no one when your profit free jumana ye so profit no nya no ebeko outside won't you tax won't you hwe nti say aban hwe yetimi aye yanko yanwe so be pass ya yanko ni enfre no ni enye sa ayi no law no che say yetimi sa yanko ya ni so be pass ya na won show say why ye haulage okrom ha since ye deregulate ye won show nchen. Fronting is against the law. It's totally against the law.
But my established way as pertains in trading with the GIPC Act, no, for months who are more downstream, more haulage, no, a exclusive activity for Ghanaians.
Exactly.
Where GMPC,
yes.
A man woman and a hole no, you deregularize it,
sure,
and you demand Ghana for.
Okay.
So munsum.
Exclusive.
And into value chain oil value chain who said downstream no, it is so well concentrated with Ghanaians. With Ghanaians. Now who there oka class a competition umba dia ho ban. Umba dia ho ban. So obid investment aba na investment in odiaba no is going to be detrimental to businesses in Ghana. Now yeah there boano. Debi me dem who say no ye investment to the bar e say boa mine no eni say ma mine no ba form because Ghana for no ho no mu didi ho no mu ye bibia o mu ye djuma mu de hwe ma school o mu de ho mu nana no nyina na o ma obi foreigner bi abam a wono sesia no wo where wono benya commodity no because we refine commodity no we dey net talk round e refine because ye competition wono refine or control no control on price no so obe good the price no wa market no na Ghana for ijina ho na say yeda
na wasen use on no
tankers using no tankers na wo wie no nye sika no a wasa asesa aye dollars kakra wo ho no wo de akwa ni krom na ye banks te ho at least anya bia no tanker owner tanker for no mo ha no ejuma no mo ye no sika no ko Ghana Ghana bank so nya ho the your friends saying businesses loan.
And as companies now and as the promoters of our refinery, no, BBN who is your more coin say after some time umbetimia only OMC and so on, and then get into almost the sale of fuel.
No, it's a watching industry now.
Yeah,
you see sometimes share and run. And then you can use that to judge
as a guide.
To say a lawyer kind. All along, the transporters are regarded as part of the system, stakeholders. And your freight transporters, no stakeholders, dealers, no stakeholders, OMCs, no stakeholders, BDCs, stakeholders. So, sir, NIPA, NASA, 4 institutions. They have become part of the system, the stakeholders in the system. And MPA will always ensure that the stakeholders take part in the system. I don't think I can be based, which happened from on the 10th, 11, 12, 13, 14, which we were the last day. All the stakeholders were met this thing individually, and the transporters were the last one. Because we can't say who are the legs of this economy. No? We are there. When we decide that we are not going to do anything, when about to me call, and I will be about funny car, I call more refinery, no coffee or coffee product. So what we are saying is that Obi was the baby. Now what said that name a Jumano too much, but to say who the kind if you have done this thing, now if they are all freight transporters, no, so I want to see whether you can meet conditions. Even Nupo is wrong because MPA, which is the regulator, no, they are the only people who can actually prescribe the way your refinery should be like. And it's a number of course, you can even conclude say every MPA cry almost what that refinery is all about. And that's almost cry. Maybe they don't know what they are even doing there. They are not even making it possible for them. And you beat in the baby was somewhere he thinks that is on top of everybody, watching everybody. And you open near Pebiano now or yeah. Let's be very, very frank. We are not angry at the moment, but come next week, we will become very angry.
Next week.
I'm telling you, and then we'll start reacting. Nientina, you're so angry at that this time. They say, because you're very angry now. You're how can you entertain the angry people?
Yeah.
So you cool down, understand the situation, tell you people so that how do you call it? The Ghanaians understand the situation, so that when we start demonstrating anger, we'll be able to so whatever is happening, we all bear the responsibility.
Hey, Obi, one of the excuses man say, or one of the reasons man say, factory no messing for bottom loading.
Sure.
The chest will be loaded from us here, and yet for top loading. Now most of Ghanaian tankers top, but really? Nearly 90% of tankers in this country are both top and down loading. Yes. Now, when we see factory, no, MPA they no catch them. When we catch MPA say factory no be downloading. When we catch them.
But the MPA and so being the regulator, no, money more in come 6 years ago say, hey, Yama permit for a company to set up a refinery. No. The company is coming to do this. In Timon, prepare more for what is coming.
MPA no more na omujinaso. Sa refinery by MPA for a contractor woman. Oh, na say permit no mama permit no one the mama authorities on mama permit. Why? Enya ban. Enya ban no mbekasa.
Sure.
Na ban no mbekasa, enya ban na say ofre Ghana for more industry and ofre MP ofre boss no mo tran say nkrofo yi besi refinery wa ha. Mo make sure say Ghana for be adwuma afrim. O makasa. Chinese one they don't want to stick to the country's regulation. It is wrong. Laws of Chroma, you're a regulator. Regulator ni MPA. Boss, one of what a friend say Ghana strategic stocks. What to me ma emeye diaope. What to me ma and can't just and give us excuse say, oh, most of the tankers are Ghana top loading. Intia say the tankers eba. Ma catch MPA some of the tankers eba. Makachi MP, some of the tankers about MPA befraying.
So you think the MPA is not aware that tankers say Abakroma?
And they did. You know, Monkasai.
Okay.
Almost can't be the letter come warm. Woman respond.
Okay. Obi say almost nim crowd. The waitings are hot now. Uko can na you were there. It's just one audio to
yeah.
Because when something should happen, we as tanker owners no, you to be employed. ABS car audio on pay no, you to meet you. So what they are trying to do is be very calm, looking at how things are this thing unfolding. FBI action and no never prompt to everybody.
And your action will be what? Say more transporting my binto.
Oh, I do that point now. Yeah, the and can say do river no ever cross. So we don't have any river to cross because the business is ours. One what you say? Yeah, na eto tankers. Yeah, near the edge man. Then suddenly obstruction be a bomb. The obstruction is not clear to us. So what happened is that, and when I say we have to wait and see how the road is. For more members, no, and I know that some of you have been in this business for 30 years, 20 years, 40 years, and all of that. More members, no, Obi ato tankers 300 at a go da. There be more talk cries after 3 or 4 or 5, and no cry a bank loan.
Bank loan,
now was stressing baby. Now I want to. Me perceiving buttress that point right now no you are taught tankers for China and Ankasa no
more members need be imported from China
imported from this thing using bank loans.
Okay,
no, not that we import directly, but we almost war country where they are selling
assembling.
So, yes. So we have gone there and then most of their bulk bulk no bulk kese no.
Yeah, okay.
The time patronizing until lately now euro as some no koye bibi na we are patronizing there this anything no cry you make say about 60% rule China, but most of the bulk are all from them. The bulk are all from them. So bulk know what the two systems on it.
Top and down.
Top and down. So the only thing is that say CC one just because we want to work, it doesn't mean that the other one cannot work. Now the only thing is configuration. Say you say bottom load here. So when we are given the chance that we will be doing this thing, maybe those tankers will be specially designed. They will go and then reconfigure them in the country here.
No, but I mean, where I agree with you and lawyer on that bit, they say, let's even grant say tankers are never system nimunyina a top loading. Let's even grant that for the purpose of this argument, sending you a top loading. If the government of Ghana allows an investor to set up a refinery, now invest in a refinery no baba be a bottom loading. What you do, and I made this point last Friday. What any smart government will do, and they say you would inform the industry to prepare ahead of time. It's that simple. I mean, rocket science. Inform the industry.
Say, the 300 trucks about. Umbe high, one driver, one mate.
Yes.
Into hire 600 people.
Sure.
Sure. What about those who are already in the business? With
over 5,000 trucks.
5,000 trucks. And how many people? How many people?
And those people, the 5,000, it may involve about 800 or 1,000 tanker owners. Who are owners of those trucks.
Sure.
And then it will turn around that almost all money family though. Then it means we are throwing about 50,000 or more people.
Apart from family, no, one more maintain trucks, no.
Yes.
Yeah,
one more for one more trucks, no.
Ties.
One more ties, one more you free day home. It may be we should question, why government decided to allow a foreign company to build a refinery here. What the thinking was the thinking that yentimi nya no hwi biem asese ade asekra inti yama company abam na abamu no regulation ye dey ato no say downstream no there are already companies operating in downstream. The thing is that downstream companies should be taken care of. Mamenka be binchro tankers ya na enobo ni jatum echane jatum ena abantina say him say started mahama breso and we so continue say no me jatum ahadwen what would be a best way of handling sadi you betimi minimize na kakra and now say wo my pipeline from Tema to Accra to Akosombo.
Yes.
Into vessel no bar it meet the far pipeline no. Now could see your friends and Womu depot Wakosombo. Now Kosombo net tanker cars no akko no makofa no me distribute.
Yes.
At Mame Water. So these are some of the things. But there are people who are in the business today. I said people in the business, China, they are always supported by their governments. It is Sikadia, a bobrobo. You need to be waha. Loan cry a kojia, your interest rate, a koji loan. Tijumaka cry, any debate. He says, yeah, pack here, tankers, yeah. Bad then yet you are loany. Debia yesu say you cry bano crown and so but ye bene kakra krasa because Ghana here for here a petrol no and a diesel no woman here in the kakra nya hwe. There are some tanker owners who are making losses because quantum of say
lifting
in a month no tembia enduro
because I hear say every tanker according to MPA we should go 10 trips a month 10 to 12 trips a month.
We're trying to scale it down to 8.
But see, tankers ne saying, are you doing the 8 a month?
To me, 2
2.
1 or 2
in a month.
Really? In a month.
Or some 0. And tankers will have for the whole month. 1 trip. A bill hokra for the past 3-4 months.
But lawyer, my memory says our question is said in our canon. The country took a decision to deregulate the downstream. Deregulation essentially allow for free entry and free exit into the albeit say a regulated space. And what I can say, when we took that decision, we decided say that space no would be for Ghanaians. In the deregulated free entry, free exit for Ghanaians. Yes. If the argument is made, say the company I come once more 300 trucks nabano by law, almost a Ghanaian company. So really, what's the whole hue and cry about?
Ghanaian company. Ghanaian company. The deregulation of Ghanaian companies has the word indigenous.
Indigenous, yes.
Has the word indigenous inserted in there. Indigenous company. Yes, they have registered with Registrar General, but it doesn't make them a Ghanaian company. Honestly, it does not make them a Ghanaian company. And as a country, we should be able to protect our jobs for our people. We should be. Because freedom on a neighbor and only sikeba. The investment ibenti. Now also catch me say so maba. One of the excuse and say production no maybe your trucks no cry no intimate be lifted. Look, so waba no catch say we are doing 500,000 barrels a day. Mumbe lifty.
You'll be ready.
People will invest and be ready because the Juma no Uko banker, bank also Juma ubetimi they are lifted. There doesn't seem to be effective communication between why the refinery was built and
how it is coming to
help the country.
The industry.
Now, Meka, I hope say Ntisa. I hope Mpenyimfo shade asia. One more year for their personal interest. I hope say Ntisa. Because where petroleum is concerned is for the country's good. Oil, crude, upstream. Sikano ba unse nesiba. A basa tsunami. Po. I know now boy say Auditor General Oba and now your friend say Finance Minister Oba no waka. One can say non-oil revenue. So we non-oil revenue. Now we revenue from oil. Oil revenue doesn't shoot up.
Sure.
And it goes through the value chain. Upstream, midstream, downstream. It goes through. Now, can you share some value chain here? Again, personal interest to sometimes personal interest might be shame. A stop on your ma. Now then, I got talk ne trucks. What do you juma? I didn't say untimine jumanye. On one crum. There's nowhere, there's no country you will go to in this world. Won't protect you on one juma. No country.
Me but more advocacy started, more regulator tones are fremo. NPR fremo. You are the executive secretary. Freo.
You send them a letter.
Oh, you've sent them a letter. Okay.
I sent them a reminder. I even copied the minister, copied all other bodies.
Agencies, no?
Yeah. But me explaining some point over here too. I want to say, Jumano, when Poku Transport and other people were in the job, Poku Transport move free on. Some other people who came in, most of them are still having either in themselves or their children are in. I can say that particular gentleman,
yeah,
he has no track record as a tanker owner. He has never said. You ever say he has even be a mate on tanker and now will share.
But does he need that to be able to buy tankers?
You see, one very thing is that business beer won't share that name on. No. You can't do it. When we are in the office now, you are operating things. It means that you know it. Many Kwame so okay, say okay, me buy a car. Cost na mo kasa but Kwame go and
confusion beba.
Confusion beba sir. You see, so what we are simply saying is that say obi wo ye juma mo. Now he's doing something like this. It will be very difficult for us to talk because himself he is just promoting people to know that this is it. But nipa no ni ejuma mo. Na obi enso ni ejuma mo. Na ni tankers no ya chro bibi sa ewo. You see the identification of somebody. He said OB with as empower FM is something that Uba had in now Casa or the other Casa will be or need duty or maybe or have to or by this and that shift. But if they mention the person, he's not somebody we all know. Those who know him said no, Juma or no. He can't even the young serve even the young 500,000 cry free 32 million. He hasn't got that money.
That money. But let me ask this question. Sanka, refinery near your margin say, okay, you share existing Ghanaian haulage companies. You identify say this haulage company in the work capacity to do what we want them to do. In the year the Germany you this existing haulage company to the exclusion of Muamakana and Kamuni problem.
No, we would not even tolerate that because yes, we are discriminating.
Yes,
we are sending them out of the rest out of business.
Okay.
The only thing is that say those tankers we don't need them.
Okay.
We are doing the jobs. And it's almost so abino ever support to say almost they don't want us. Then it is the duty of all we inform our fellow Ghanaians that this is where we are.
This is where we are going to.
Or say at the moment mu tanker owners no and I'm near more tankers
we
don't have the time for you again. That is also another serious point that is going to hit with the Ghanaians. That's why we are saying that my young education, there are some people who come back and say that competition, there is nothing called competition in this job. It's money. If you have the money to buy the tanker and operate in this country, we agree. But we can't sit down for somebody to go and bring it and use it to front. Then you come and tell us that you have set up a company. Well. So what?
Yeah, the baby, my main kind message, Member of Parliament for Tema Central, Honorable Ninoy Hansen Norte, Edea Bremer. Say, Obi, I simply don't get the drift of the argument by the Tanker Owners Association. Is it that they are afraid of competition or they are against foreign investment? Some of the tanker owners are also importers, i.e. BDCs. How has that helped Ghana? The argument, with the greatest of respect, doesn't make sense. When they import product from Europe, don't they repatriate dollars? Refining in Ghana will save us over $6 billion a year in foreign exchange. GIPC spends resources to attract foreign investment into Ghana, and yet we complain when foreigners invest. The Tanker Association operates as a cartel, and some of them are vertically integrated into the BDCs. Competition brings out the best. Central Group has invested heavily in Ghana and has created 6,000 jobs in steel manufacturing and ceramic manufacturing. Central Oil Refinery is a new addition to the group's investment. The only way to grow Ghana is to promote local manufacturing, whether owned by Ghanaians or foreigners. This sentimental argument, with respect, does not make sense to me. Ninoy Hansen Norte, MP.
Obi, just a minute.
Lawyer will talk and then you come.
Take the wind out of my sail.
Executive Secretary.
Please, Obi.
Cool down.
Obi, let that man understand that he hasn't got that type of strength to talk to us like that. If he's an MP, we are paying him. He should stop talking nonsense. Sometimes we don't like this kind of argument on the air. What does it mean?
Executive Secretary.
Does he know anything about this job?
Relax.
Sometimes they come begging for money from us, and then he's thinking that somebody is busy.
Relax.
What nonsense is that?
Executive Secretary Nyabotre. Let's have a big heart to accept divergent opinion, Nyabotre. Council. Respond to the outside.
Arguments here were hanging. Have we gone against the fact that they have built a refinery?
No.
Is that the argument?
No.
So he's an MP. When it came to Parliament, why didn't he ask the question? Government, we have Tor. Why don't we look to put Tor back up instead of bringing some other foreign company to do it? He says Centrum has done what? They've had what? They've created
steel, ceramics. We're
not talking about steel,
6,000 jobs.
But that one, shouldn't it be local companies? What are you talking about? Shouldn't that be local companies? How are we building local companies in this country to take over steel and ceramics? How are we? How many local companies as an MP has he created in the steel and ceramic business? And that they are bringing investment. and because they are going to hire Ghanaians. Is that what we are looking for? We want Ghanaians to have the commanding heights. That is what we are looking for. Where Ghanaians are in control. That is what we are looking for. And how can an MP talk like that? We pay him. We put him there. And he's not interested in Ghanaians taking over. What kind of thinking is that?
Well, another
but to
will be a minute. You see, sometimes when some of them talk.
So the Chinese company are better than us in Ghana here.
We find it very distinct. The scrap that people use for that still this thing, and the light, the electricity that they use, what else do they contribute? Apart from the money they brought, the scrap and other things.
If you listen to his argument,
the argument does not make sense to us. What we are arguing was when the
we are protecting Ghanaian jobs.
When the Weir Dakun was putting the refinery in shape, is he not a member of that party?
No, what Dakun is in NDC. This guy is MPP. This MP is MPP MP.
I think some of them don't even know why they are even there.
But his point, no, Tobo, let's interrogate the issues. His point, lawyer, about the fact that some of you tanker owners,
they are very envious. Very envious. You should get out from the prime minister when you are away.
Tobo.
Very envious.
Now, Executive Secretary, Tobo, he makes the point that some of you, the tanker owners, no more sign BDCs. So more important. And when you do, and also your dollars are more requirement on it.
Yeah, the common. And this is your friend said, don't we have to get dollars? Doesn't Bank of Ghana give BDC dollars to import?
To import, sure.
Doesn't Bank of Ghana do it?
Sure.
If we don't import, do we get the fuel? Nobody is against Centum producing. That's not what we are talking about. We are talking about the affiliated businesses that go with it.
Jobs. Nah.
That is what we are talking about. So you shouldn't cloud the argument. Nobody has said Centum is what when they brought Centum is bad. I have said that they should have done TOR first.
Of course, you've made that point.
That is where it should have been. When they brought it to Parliament, parliamentarians should say, but listen, we have a refinery in Ghana. We are bringing another refinery. What will happen to our refinery? Let's see how best we can get them to be part and parcel of our refinery and build our refinery. That is the way it should have gone. But it didn't go that way. You brought a company to come in. Look, they are also going to benefit from the landlocked countries coming in. We have a refinery here. We have a refinery. Ask him the question, what is going to happen to TOR? Ask him. Let him come on stream. Let him phone.
Sometimes
some of us Executive Secretary
we see his
Obi Enya Ghana.
Yes.
Enya Ghana.
Yeah.
The fact so Obi your friend saying you kun your banks foreign banks
clean up, yes.
They were able to bring money from their source country to shore them. What happened to ours?
They couldn't.
What happened to ours?
Okay.
As an MP, aren't you interested in Ghana picking up? Aren't you interested? That supermarket, I do and no, forest and Kwanda womb.
Yeah, but
his
argument is and said, you boo say the Ahoho and a Chichiri crew. His argument is for Ghana to move to that level, we would need investment and enterprise from both Ghanaians and foreigners.
Wait. Let me tell you something. The kind of natural resources we have in this country, we don't need to go anywhere to beg for money. Because we don't have a plan together and how we are going to make sure that the natural resources are managed well to create the kind of revenue that our economy needs. That is where the problem is. You think any foreigner who comes in here has a personal friend? He has personal interest to take away. That is his personal interest. Otherwise, anybody who comes in here, we will say, set up an added value industry for us. Our gold, is it added value? Who are the people taking our gold out? Is it the foreign companies? He should mention one Ghanaian gold company. He should mention it and let us hear.
Okay.
Their job as parliamentarians should make sure that we create the kinds of businesses that will grow our country. That is his job.
Very well. We say Obi, Executive Secretary. No, Executive Secretary. Nyamutre, please. Let's listen to.
We don't see you are somebody in politics that
Tobo. Executive Secretary. Relax. Oh no. You're on public radio. You don't use those language.
You talk about public radio, is he not sending the message to the public radio?
Relax. Let's have a big heart for divergent opinion. This is a policy conversation. Policy conversation cannot be one way. Anyway, sir, Obi, let the Executive Secretary render an unqualified apology to the MP. His attacks on him is plainly derogatory. We cannot have a one-sided policy conversation, no matter how important it is to Ghanaian businesses. And trade unionists should know this. Ayimedu, thank you. This one says, Krobi Asante, Medase, we say, okay. This one says, Obi, all right-thinking Ghanaians must support the Tanker Owners Association. This move by the Chinese oil refinery is in the medium to long term, as an entry marketing strategy, is a final nail in the coffin of Tor. And all indigenous oil tanker companies like Hogel, Spenhall, Ahiadome, and others who have invested heavily over the years to build indigenous companies. Mind you, no one company can compete with a Chinese national company which is not privately owned. When they kill all the indigenous Ghanaian companies, then you see your Samia. Okay, that's from Nana Ano Ami here. Nana, thank you. Obi, is it that if Ghanaians are not able or willing to invest in an area of the economy, then we shouldn't allow anyone, talk less of foreigners, to develop or invest? Is it that the tanker owners are only interested in the monopoly they've been enjoying and are afraid of facing competition? But that's not the point. I don't think that's the point. Because so amongst local companies, there is competition already. Are these new tankers going to stop them from doing what they are already doing? All I hear and see is a defense of personal interest and not that of the countries. Starsky, New York.
Understand what we're saying.
No, maybe I remember wrap it up and then you'd go over your point again. Obi, when this refinery construction began, there was a deliberate attempt by some groups against it that it was situated on the Chemu Lagoon. That argument was flawed. Then the issue of the refinery was going to affect Tor's operations. Then that one too was flawed. Now it is tanker haulage and Chinese company. The back and forth is shrouded with a whole conspiracy theory against Central just to satisfy some individuals' intrinsic interest. Obi, we live in Tema and we know where this whole issue is coming from. Kojo Tabi or Community 4. This one says, Tor has a private sector arrangement that will revamp it. We do not speak for Central. However, the narrative about foreigners versus Ghanaians is a dangerous one. Let me see. This one says, Obi, where this is going, I see that later this Chinese company will set up their own fuel stations and also take out the other fuel stations already in the market. Charles, thank you. We say, Obi, good afternoon. The second man speaks practical Ephesian science economics. We have sold our nation to foreigners. My heart bleeds when I hear of certain key aspects of our economy in the hands of foreigners. They should go and check the requirement to set up such industries in China. What is really wrong with us as a people? David, thank you for your message. Inti ma memra messages the dot media chayan sorry nkwana yemre aso inti council we wrapping up 2 minutes. Na bo insem ni na tofa omo a ente ase ye na omo nte wase.
It's against and up. The principle of our argument has not got to do with the fact that they have set up a refinery.
Okay.
That one was a personal thing. I said that I do not understand why.
Okay.
But they've set it up. The ancillarated and affiliated jobs that go with it are for Ghanaians. Who somebody is saying that there's a Ghanaian cartel.
Yes.
Ghanaian cartel. Has anybody stopped anybody from coming into the haulage business? Nobody. If you have your money as a Ghanaian and you want to come into it, come into it. Because the law protects the Ghanaian.
That job for Ghanaians.
And it is indigenous Ghanaians. Indigenous Ghanaians. Do you understand the word indigenous? Here, 2012, when we were drafting the local content law, we sat with the oil companies. I was part of the team that drafted that law. And the oil companies indicated to us then that they had registered with registered generals. So they were a Ghanaian company. We couldn't take that away from them. And the definition should be such that they are included in that definition. We said, no, it's not possible. You are not a Ghanaian company. You're a foreign company, but our law states that as a company, you've got to register general. Then we sat down, the Ghanaian team, we sat down to think through it, then realized that we need to insert the word indigenous in the Local Content Act. And the moment we inserted that word indigenous, they backed off.
But the indigenous there no means what? That
Ghanaian.
A Ghanaian should have controlling stake in that company.
Yes. It's for that area is left for indigenous Ghanaians alone. And if you are going to if you are going to import stuff to manufacture here, a certain quantum of that stuff should be found in Ghana, and the balance could be brought in to help Ghanaian business also grow. But don't we want our country to grow? Foreign companies that are in this country are taking money away from us. Don't Ghanaians understand that? You take that, yes, we have foreign companies and all, they are here. When it comes to the last minute and they have to repatriate, they don't repatriate cedis. They repatriate dollars. Dollars that we are trying to find. Dollars that we go to the IMF to get loans for. Does it not affect our economy? Why are they seeing it in that light? And if it affects our economy, doesn't it affect everybody? That little drop of centum coming in and doing the haulage and doing all these types of things, when they change the money, doesn't it go out? The dollars that we would have used to do things here, hasn't it been sucked out of the economy? Ghanaians, please, let's think and let's come together and let's be more patriotic. That is what I don't understand about us nowadays. Let us more be. And now, your friends say demonstration. What is the chronic crying is saying?
The crack crying is saying.
The crack crying is saying. There's nothing that is giving us hope. Is that what we want our country to be?
Okay, it is a metiasia. The tanker owners are not against the setting up of a refinery. What they are against, and it's when you set up the refinery need a jume be never because our mobile beton finished product. So our finished product should the Ghanaian companies I work in the haulage industry be allowed to do that. And I think that's a more argument. Yeah. Executive Secretary, finally 2 minutes.
Yeah, my argument is
and would you want to apologize to a member of parliament?
I wouldn't do that. I'm not in that position to do that because no didn't sound but can't you. So we are just telling him that Nioki can and because we hear the area where he's operating from, the majority of those who are operating these tankers and distance doing other business, they are from that base. And he said, "Well, bet to me pinpointing some individuals." I just said that's something like personal hatred or a sort of envious type of situation. Me, in my position, if I were to be in this position, Obeba, you see, Obeba very close to us. Now, take your problem, Nase, before you go ahead to talk about anything. None of us, the two of us sitting here with you, are not talking about investment in this thing. We are sad that our refinery has been left like that, and another one, which means we left the old car unrepaired and decide to buy a new one. So when that new one to decide to get old and this thing, FBI said, "There's that what coming from." So all the time we are buying, we don't repair. And no, yeah, problem. So we are not worried about. We are not complaining. Say, yeah, the refinery, but the other part, the chain which we follow all along, refinery, BDC, oil company, transport owner, transporter. I don't know. Say, fast line. But say fast line. All of a sudden, the refinery is saying that a BBC say conditional sale. Who see me here where? We don't like it that way. We are not a cartel or whatever they call it. The tanker, this thing has been open to people who are doing it.
So it's open. Refinery never call OMC or catch and say, discounted price. but some the product nearby was
Say, me trap
Yes.
the deba.
So you kick the BDC away. You kick the BCC
And you
away.
kick the haulage company away.
You kick the haulage company away. Then what you are doing is that
They have
then
control.
you kick the distance because FBI said oil company the car now to me at US Canada. Then you confiscate his company or station. Then it means you have become the overall distance. We have seen China operations in countries, and that is why Trump doesn't want them in their district. Obi, we want to appeal to our fellow countrymen and women that ye do baby ye jumano a yanya problem baby you know free now they are doing whatever they are doing say and they are not nobody who advise those who are behind it and then they go ahead from next week no we will not go and then meet with anybody and talk about what is it because you will be any case be what we are doing, we are protecting a job which is a Ghanaian job. Free Ghana. From the time I entered this job, and it will be 30 years next year. No, I have never heard or seen any
Something
foreigner
like
coming to run transport. Look at SCC. Other than that, when SCC was going down and down, what would have happened? They would have brought in new people to come and do it. So, VIP and all those things. I don't know Ghanaian transport companies. And to why are they not young quiet there? No,
Mr. Domam even count. Shell waha, Shell waha. That ne BP waha. Total waha. One moment is come to better tankers.
Yes.
And so they use us. They conform. Now, lift time all you have to do is to paint your tanker with their emblem. That's all. But it's owned by Ghanaians. Womu krobosi kanu kranu o manyanisa. Na mu de mu free na mo be nisa.
Mama Yemfan Komono NC. There is more talk. When I know this conversation has just begun, if need be, a science from Mababu and say, Pennyfortun Safremon, so Mama Yasonte, and then we take it from there. Why? Yeah, Papa Ekosiisen Suni, a higher Sempa 94.7 FM. Very, very, very interesting conversation. Ma mena in Pennyformia Nui Ase. Ignatius Kwekudo, a executive secretary, Tanker Owners Union. Lawyer Kwame Jantua, a member, Tanker Owners Union. Omoni anyone edin komo. Yenti we mra ya ba. Ya discussion